I feel like it's way worse now. Like the idea of doing a talk show in this climate where everyone has the opportunity to give you this reaction right in immediate time. Yeah, I couldn't do it today.
Love it or leave it.
Please welcome to the stage the Tracy Turnblad to my corny Collins. It's the one and only Ricki Lake. Hi. Hi, bringing it. So good to see you. Oh, wait, I'm Tracy.
Great to be here. Hi, everyone. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. I'm changing hats. I'm an undecided, for my costume, I'm an undecided voter.
Do you know what I am?
What are you?
Can't you tell? I'm a middle-aged hot burner.
Wow.
Which is what I am.
Scary. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm a big fan.
Ricki, you have a new podcast, The High Life with Ricki Lake, about, and I quote, Ricki's blissed out world of joy and pleasure as she enters the best phase of life, midlife. What's your secret? Because my midlife is mostly insomnia and heartburn and whatever the fuck is happening.
What is my secret? My husband, who's out here, and my new husband. I have to say, those of you who follow my career, how many of you grew up with me?
I grew up with
you.
Yeah. I grew up with you.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been through a lot, and I think now is like the sweet time of my life.
Now, one thing you talk about in the podcast is menopause.
Yes, we actually haven't done the episode yet, but we will because I'm in perimenopause, so it's a topic that's of mind. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you because Michelle Obama gave this incredible speech about the election, and in it she talked about women's health, and she said this.
Sadly, we as women and girls have not been socialized to talk openly about our reproductive health. We've been taught instead to feel shame and to hide how our bodies work. Some young girls enter puberty not knowing what to expect. Too many of us suffer with severe cramps and nausea for days on end every single month. And then on the other end of the reproductive timeline, too many women my age have no idea what's going on with our bodies as we battle through menopause and debilitating hot flashes and depression. Most of us women, we suck up our pain and we deal with it alone. We don't share our experiences with anyone, not with our partners, our friends, or even our doctors. Look, a woman's body is complicated business, y'all. Yes, it brings life, and that's a beautiful thing. But even when we are not bearing children, there is so much that can go wrong at any moment.
It's a beautiful speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit of something. I made some documentaries about women's reproductive health. I made one called The Business of Birth Control, one called The Business of Being Born. And yeah, there's a lot we don't know about our options, about, informed consent.
And you're going to be covering menopause on the show?
Definitely, yes. Will you tune in? Or
sure, I will. I mean, I'd like to learn more about it.
Well, Jessica Cordova-Kramer used to work with you, and she works with me now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That you're doing with Lemonada?
Yes,
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Switching gears a little, what's John Waters like? And I feel like there's something so interesting about you working with John Waters, who is someone who I think kind of heightens American culture to show you something about American culture. Mm-hmm. And you end up making a talk show that is exactly the kind of heightened American culture that he would satirize.
Yes.
So there's some connection there to me.
I mean, he was so shocked when I actually got that job and then became really successful at it. He's like, he discovered me. And yeah, it's just the funniest thing. It's like this fat girl wins the dance contest, and then becomes the next Oprah. Yeah, I think he was really proud, and he used to come on my show as a guest, and it was just like the most surreal thing. It's like art imitating life, life imitating art. He's tickled by the fact that I've had this career that went beyond being Tracy Turnblad.
You were also in Serial Mom.
Yes.
Which I loved. I love Serial Mom. And I've been thinking about Serial Mom lately because there is a connection between Kathleen Turner, who's been on this show, her character in Serial Mom, and Trump.
Make the connection for me.
At the end of that movie, spoiler alert for Serial Mom, this woman who gets away with it is suddenly standing there with her family. And her family's like, they're not really going to let her go home.
You're absolutely right.
We had to we sat with her in court because she's our mom, and we pretended we were supportive of her because she's our mom. But she's crazy and she's a murderer. We all know that. You're actually going to let her leave? You're not going to hold her accountable at all? I guess we'll just smile.
Let's hope that's not the ending next week. Please, God.
I hope not.
Please, God.
I hope not.
I never actually made the connection. I made that movie when I was 24 years old, but now I see it. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
John Waters really is ahead of his time.
We're in the middle of something of a reevaluation of the 90s. And I always think that, like, I grew up in the 90s. I watched television in the 90s. I watched movies in the 90s. There was so much commentary in the 90s about how far we'd come. And it's like, look at how equal men and women are. James Bond punches a woman in the latest film. And then you look back into the way women in public life were savaged. And you were one of those people. You were ripped to pieces.
I was by Lieberman and Bill Bennett, they were running for office, and they said that my show was responsible for the demise of young people. You know, we weren't. We were simply reflecting what was out there, and we gave the marginalized a voice and I treated everyone with respect and treated everyone the way I wanted to be treated. But yeah, you're right. I think we were villainized. You know, the first season I was nominated for an Emmy, and after that, when they attacked us, we never were nominated again.
And you were attacked pretty personally for your appearance, for how you look.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I was. But I think, you know, John Waters instilled in me that I was, you know, beautiful and special and talented. And I feel like, you know, that character, the underdog, the consummate underdog, is someone that you root for. And so I think, I was able to overlook most of that.
Were you really?
I think so, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You don't let one comment on the internet sit with you for weeks and the people would know it was that one? Like, you can overlook 20 of them, but then one will get you, but that person would never know they got you?
I think in the past it has. Like, when you turn 50, the cliche is that you don't really. It's not my business what other people think of me. And so yeah, I don't think I let it get to me now. But people have nice things to say. I mean, for the most part, people know that I'm the real deal. I'm what you see is what you get. And I love that I've broken the mold in some ways. You know, with Tracy Turnblad being this role model and this, you know, underdog that wins. It's been a great, like, you know, introduction in my career. You don't believe me, do you?
Well, I don't know. You kind of recoil. Like, have you? I mean, it's great. You said two different things, right? You said, "Oh, this."
I contradict myself a lot.
Well, because what you said was, "Oh, yeah, of course," but I didn't really let that get to me. And then you said, "Well, now that I'm 50, I don't let it get to me." Was there a time? I mean,
I think it's a mixed bag. I grew up a fat girl. You know, I think it's a complicated, nuanced thing, and I think I'm able to turn it off and I'm able to turn it on. And when I made Hairspray, it was like I was an 18-year-old virgin, and I was suddenly in this position of being like the object of, you know, these boys, these young men, their eyes. And so it was uncomfortable, but I would like switch that part of it off and just pull it off as best I could. You still don't believe me?
No, I don't. I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about it because, like, part of what's happening is I think people are looking back. Like, there was a conversation that Oprah had about a terrible TV Guide cover. TV Guide was just a magazine for telling you what time shows were on, and the cover just was vicious. It was just like an absolutely just the way that when your show was on, it was just. You would just mock women on the covers of magazines. And I'm glad you're on the other side of it, but it has to have an effect on you.
I mean, maybe it did, but I feel like it's way worse now. Like, the idea of doing a talk show in this climate where everyone has the opportunity to give you this reaction right in immediate time. Yeah, I couldn't do it today. I feel like in the 90s, there was something about it being like go-to television. It was the thing to watch every water cooler moment, every time the next day. I don't know. I just feel like I was in a lot of ways like America's sweetheart, and I didn't feel backlash. And now, like, I switched gears. Like, I went from being an actor to being a talk show host to making documentaries about things that matter to me, that hopefully matter to other people. And I feel like I've been widely accepted. So I have not been bashed in ways that have damaged me, as far as I can remember.
That's so cool.
I know. I'm lucky.
Now that I'm 40, which is gay 50, which is LA gay 90, I want to get your advice on a few midlife crises.
Okay.
What are we doing about fiber? I'm on the gummies, and the gummies, fiber gummies.
Okay.
And the melatonin gummies and the weed gummies. It's a lot of gummies.
I love gummies. You know I have a cannabis brand, Ricki Lake and Bake.
Oh, wow. Pretty good. They like that. They like that.
Well, it'll be available very soon in stores.
Do you think it's too many gummies for me?
How many gummies is too many gummies?
Well, it's
the
fiber gummies
the
and the melatonin gummies and the weed gummies and the vitamin gummies.
I'm not a doctor. I never claim to be an expert, but go with your gut. How's your gut feeling?
Not great. not great at all. Hey, Ricki, how do I go to sleep? How do we go to sleep? How do you go to sleep?
A gummy or two, and I have 8 sleep. I have that bed that cools your bed. I'm talking about
Your
8
bed
sleep.
cools you?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. What else do I do? I watch a lot of TV, fall asleep to the TV.
Oh, that's good. What about the intrusive thoughts?
I do have intrusive. I'm super nervous. I'm nervous talking to you, but I'm nervous about what's going to happen next week. So it's definitely top of mind too. Xanax comes in handy every now and then. Not too much because you don't want to be addicted to it. Moderation.
What do you do about the fact that when you're happy, your intrusive thoughts are about how everything good's going to go away, but when you're sad, all your intrusive thoughts are about how you'll never be happy?
Yeah, I think it's a thing, but I focus on being in the moment right now. It's a joyous moment. I'm getting to sit with you.
This is so fun.
Post-Survivor. It's awesome.
Can I ask you something? And I am indeed post-Survivor. Maybe pre-Survivor.
How was your fiber intake? Oh, you're only there for one day.
No, Ricki Lake. No, Ricki Lake. I missed 3 dinners. Hey, people say this all the time, to be in the moment. I don't know what that means. What does it mean to be in the moment? I don't know if I've ever done it.
Really?
Do you think I'm here right now?
You always are thinking ahead, or you're thinking of the past? What is it?
I think both. I think I'm switching back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to be present with you right now.
Okay.
Okay. Is this a lot of concentration? How do you know if you're being in the moment?
I feel so present right now. I feel like I'm right here with you.
So cool. Because here's the thing. If you think to yourself, am I in the moment, aren't you no longer? So how do you know if you can't measure it? Because right now I think, well, I'm in the moment now. We're having this conversation. But then I'm thinking, is this good?
I can't answer if it's good. Is it good? Okay. All right.
Hey, you were a talk show host for a long time. Very famous, successful one.
I was.
Am I good at this?
Yeah.
I'm
a fan. I'm a long time listener.
Are you really?
I am.
That means a lot.
I am. Truthfully.
What can we expect to hear on the podcast?
It's all about people that have figured out their own way to crack the code to finding joy in their lives. So I'm a perfect example. I'm 56 years old, and I feel like I am very much living in the moment and appreciating just all that as life has given me. So it's really interesting talks about biohacking and longevity and wellness, and then kids and anything that pertains, that interests me, and I hopefully interests my audience.
I'm really into skincare lately. I'm doing a lot of, my routine is getting pretty baroque.
It is?
There's a lot of stuff to it, and there's different depending on the night. There's some things that are every other night, and there's some things that are once a week. The schedule gets pretty complicated. I actually was thinking today, I may need to print out a little calendar to put up on my mirror so I don't get the days wrong. Do you think this is anxiety?
That's definitely not living in the moment.
Ricki Lake, everybody. That was very fun.